Today's is super simple. I have this sheet that I use to make calls. And so I think it was because of my days in telemarketing that I would always track, right? Even if I never looked back at the sheet later, which by the way, I don't want you to do. I want you to actually look at the sheet. I have this simple, easy to follow sheet. Let me open it up on my end. You won't see this because most of you are listening in podcasts. It's okay. If you need this sheet, I'm going to go over it. If you need this sheet, message me on Instagram and I will send this to you. It's a Canva link. And then you can open it on Canva, modify it. I have it. It says daily call tracker. And underneath that, it says today's the day. Right? Just reminded me it's super simple. I've broken it down into numbers on the left, 1 through 20, name of the person you're talking to, the time you talk to them, little notes, and then answered yes or no. Now, the reason I put answered yes or no is because sometimes, depending on if I'm hand dialing, right, I also put in who I'm calling and didn't pick up, right? Depends on the day. Depends on which lead source I'm calling. So you can remove the last part because obviously if you have notes and you're only putting in the people who you talk to, of course they answered, right? So you could change that one up to follow-up date or whatever you want. But the point is, I wanted to go over this with you because let me open it up. I've got 3 sections to this. The daily call tracker, how to track calls and decide when to follow up. Probably going to need this actually. Just message me on Instagram. Just do me a favor. Friend me first because I don't get some of the messages. I know Instagram has been doing something weird where they actually hold the message hostage for a few days. And I don't get it for like 3 or 4 days. And people are like, why didn't you respond to me? I'm like, I didn't get your message. So friend me first. All right. Step number one. Set up your tracking framework. For me, I have something pretty easy. Daily call sheet, which you'll see. The columns, date, time, client name, phone, answered, and then outcome, and then what's next. That's like my traditional sheet. The one you're going to see that I send you is missing the outcome and it's missing the next column. And then it's also missing the follow-up, date, and status, right? You can make it. You can add it. It's a beautiful sheet. You'll see it. 1.2, the next section to this under set up your tracking framework. Standard outcome codes. Now, I work in codes because when you dial a lot, you want to have abbreviations. That's what I mean by codes. And I learned this when I was telemarketing at 15 years old, right? Everyone had codes and I had to be trained. And I was like, what does this mean? What does that mean? So I wrote down codes. I'm going to go over them really quick for you so you can be like, got it. I don't want to fully write out meaningful conversation, right? I just want to write CONV. And I know in my head, it's a meaningful conversation. I don't want to write out voicemail left. I just want to be like VM done. So that's what I'm talking about, all right? Here they are. NA, no answer, no voicemail, dialer rang out. Easy. I usually put no answer on the second dial because I do double dials. DND, do not disturb, do not call request. So that means I talked to them and they said, hey, you know what? Stop talking to me. You know what? I don't want to be on here. Why are you dialing me? I already told you or your people 50 times, never call me again. So I put that. Ready to transact in less than 90 days or approximately there. I put hot, surprise, HOT, right? Let me take a sip of my coffee. It's cold coffee, by the way, if you're wondering. It's from a place called La La Land. I think it was made in Texas. They just opened out here in California. Coffee's pretty good. All right. 3 to 12 months in the horizon. I put warm. Actually, put like 3, depending. Sometimes mentally I change it. I'm like, 3 to 8 months, 3 to 9 months. But let's just go 3 to 12 months. Warm. Cold, 12 months or later, or they're unsure, right? And then not qualified, no intent, wrong number. This is the ones that I'm probably never going to call back, but putting into our database and just retargeting them. That's NQ. So add to this, right? As you're writing notes, you're going to work and function in abbreviations so that you can go through them fast, because the more notes you can take and the more that those notes actually have meaning to you when you read through them, or when you snapshot it like I do and send it to my team to then upload, then it becomes valuable, right? But first, get this down, right? And if you're wondering, well, how do I hire? How do I take the next step? Listen to yesterday's podcast and then listen to the previous one, Hedgehog Concept, which outlined the one thing you should be focused on, right? There you go. Number 2, document each call in real time. Do me a favor, don't wait until the whole call session is done to go back and put notes. It's all about quality in this business, not quantity. You might think like, man, Tristan, I triple dial. I'm like, great. So if it works for you, great. But I can tell you what works for most people. Slowly dialing, listening to conversations, not thinking about what's next, but thinking about what this person that you're talking to actually needs based on you listening. That means you're taking notes. This is why right next to my right hand shoulder here, I've got, if you're watching on YouTube, I've got a notepad, and I am always taking notes. I got notepads upon notepads upon notepads. Now, sometimes it's gibberish, but most of the time it's not. It's time that I talk to this person. Who did I talk to? Take a snapshot. More importantly, what am I doing next? What is my job according to my notes? What is the next thing I'm going to do? So I need you to take notes during the dial. Start time, conversations, name, all that good stuff, right? The list, the tracker that I'm going to give you if you request it. And then number 2, immediately after, right? Like, what was the conversation like? Let's go through the codes now that I put in really quick. And then I put here, jot 1-line notes, asked for vendor list, vacation, call back mid-July. And then my important one to this one, the immediately after, is what do I have to do next? What's next? What is next? Because that becomes a task for you. And that task needs to go into your calendar on a specific day and time. And I have on my calendar a time to follow up with tasks that I wrote down so I don't forget. Because I can tell you from experience, you're going to forget as you're dialing a lot of people. And then number 3, last one, end of day data hygiene. Tally up the totals. How many calls did you make? How many texts did you get back? How many emails did you get back from everything you sent out, right? How many messages did you get back on social from your videos that you messaged, from the happy birthdays you sent back, from everything? What does that look like? And then update your CRM if any of those are needed. Or if you've got a great team assistant or that you can delegate to, snapshot it, send it over to them. Whatever it is, do that. And then schedule the task. What happens next? We often fall behind on the part that what happens next. And that is probably the biggest thing you can do for yourself. What happens next? Anyway, that's it. If you want to grow further into this business, jump into our group coaching, abrillianttribe.com. We go over sessions like this in depth weekly. And then we have live prospecting calls where you can listen in to me and Mark Rader, one of my top agents, dial live. And you can learn the processes, how to talk to people, texting, and all that great stuff. Anyway, message me if you need this on Instagram. Have an awesome day.